in my eye, it was always, and it's not a little thing, but it was always a scary movie for kids in a way. I love the fact that you can be shocked, but there is not so much blood and violence on the screen. It's just the story, strike you on the situation.
Oh my goodness, I love this film so much. I am such a big horror fanatic. And let me tell you, it's really hard to scare me with a film. And I was like terrified.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you.
Oh my God, I loved it. Yes. So I just wanted to start off by asking, what drew you to Cobweb? What made you want to get involved in this particular project?
It was the script. I at that time I read. I really wanted. I just finished a TV show named Marianne, and I wanted to work with an American company. So I read some scripts, and when the Chris Dilvine script came to me, I read it, and I really loved how I can say that it's really hard to write something simple. And what I love in Chris Delvin's script, it's that it was simple and twisted. And so I said, oh my God, I see something here, and maybe I feel a way to tell that story. And I love the tone he used. It was not grounded. It was a kind of a weird tale, but so lean in his direction and everything. I fall in love with the script. It was really that. That was the thing.
Well, yeah, from what I saw, a lot of your other projects have been either shorts or TV series. So was this your first time directing a full-length feature?
Yeah, it's my first feature film. Yeah, it's my first feature film, and it was my first project in English, and it was my first collaboration with an US company, and a US studio. So a lot of things.
No, that's awesome. Then how has this experience been? How has it differed from the other genres that you've worked on?
It was a little bit a roller coaster for me, because to add to that, it was in the middle of COVID. So the experience of the shooting, in the middle of COVID with the bubble thing in English, in your first feature film, in your first studio film, I say, okay, each day was a kind of a roller coaster, but it was not a bad thing. I love that. But yeah, a TV, my previous TV show was Marianne, and it was to the first time I directed something I didn't write. And that is an important point. It's not the same exercise for me. And when you write and directed a TV show, it's more like, a big web, and you can lose yourself, find yourself. But a movie, it's a gesture. It's like you have to be at the perfect place each time. On this one, because it's a mystery, each sequence we have to say, okay, where we are, what the audience know, what the audience don't know. And so you can't do a faux pas. You have to be exactly at the good place. So I had to be very, very precise all along the process. And there was a language barrier, and there was a COVID, and other things. So it was an exercise, but it was at the end of the day, it was a good experience. I learned a lot.
Well, I saw in your director statement that you said you didn't want to tell a story that was bloody and gory. You wanted to go for creepy and gritty. And like I said, those are always the movies that genuinely scare me. And I imagine that's also harder creatively. Because you can't just fall back on slashings, So what were the challenges of making this genuinely terrifying?
When I direct something, I prepare a lot. I shortlist everything. So I always say that I did the movie in my head before go shooting, and then reality strike, and you have to adapt yourself and everything. But I already did all the things and in my head. So after that, it was a conversation with my producers to say, that scene, I want that not to be bloody. And we will try that, and we'll try that. We did a lot of storyboards. All the scary scenes were storyboards and everything. So it was really, really a work in preparation and to find the good tone, to say, okay, if there is no blood and less violence, maybe we will lose fear. So how we can bring back fear? It's in the mood, it's in the score. Drum and Bass did a so good job on that. And in the production design, and we had to create that kind of hypnotic way to go on in the story and create that place where the audience is never sure, never grab something. So you're always scared in the way, so you don't need blood and you don't need that thing. And I wanted to, in my head, it was always, and it's not a little thing, but it was always a scary movie for kids in a way. I love the fact that you can be shocked, but there is not so much blood and violence on the screen. It's just the story, strike you on the situation. So a lot of preparation and at each time, at each step of the process to be very, very clear and clean and, and testing. We're testing a lot before shooting.
The horror of this movie isn't just kind of the supernatural aspect. I mean, this is also about a child who's being abused. So can you maybe give some insight into the process of trying to blend, the fictional aspect of this with that sad reality?
Yeah. What I love in scary movies, I say that a lot, but it's that you can talk about very serious matter, very problematic matter, and it's never becoming melodrama. Because it's a horror movie. And when you're scared, suddenly, it's like you're becoming a kid again. It's like a little bit in comedy. When you laugh, your ears are very open and you hear a lot of things and you understand a lot of things. And I really think that we can do that in horror. Cobweb is talks about child abuse or this kind of thing. It's why I wanted the movie not to be grounded. I wanted the movie to be a little bit next to the reality, like a Grimm brother tale. So you can talk about that problem, that issue, without feeling rejected by the movie. If it's too frontal, you don't want to see that. Here, you're okay. I'm entering that because it's a horror movie. I can be here. It's the rules. But you feel the violence and the problem the same way. And I love that way. But I take the reality and I put that a little bit next to the reality and say, okay, now we can talk about that. You can do that with animation. You can talking about very serious matter, but you find a fictional way to tell it. And it's why I love in cinema, it's a question of empathy. You can go in the shoes of someone else and feel something and understand something in your own life on this kind of thing. So I love to use scary story to do that.
Well, this film also has such an amazing cast. I mean, Antony, Lizzy, Woody. How was collaborating with all of them on this?
I was so lucky. I really feel like that. I was so lucky. And we rehearsed a lot with Lizzy, Tony, and Woody, to create that weird family bound, because it's not a normal family, it's not reality. So we worked a lot on the language, on the body language, and how we could create that kind of scary fairy tale feeling. And it's very in the performance. With Lizzy, for example, we took each sequences and say, okay, here I have to do that. That is an abnormal. I have to do that. Here I have to be normal because you have to love me a little bit. And here I have to, and it was, a very precise thing, like a race with all the turn, and she's so good to do that. It's like she's a coin, you can see the two faces of the coin so fast. She can change so fast. And so, yeah, it was very playful and very precise. And it was so great because everything was possible because of them, and I just had to guide them and follow them. And we really built that little way together. So, yeah, I am lucky.
Well, Leslie, now that you've got this feature film out there, what's next? Are there any other projects that you're hoping to work on?
I have two personal projects, two feature films, one in France and one in the US. The one in the US is a horror movie that I want to tell since a long time. So it's one of my scripts. And I can't wait to build it, to show it to you, to all of you. I work with a company named Studio 8, and I'm so happy to work with them on that story. And the other one, it's a French movie, in French language movie, and it's not at all a horror movie. It's a weird love triangle story during World War II. on the Mont Blanc. So it's really a weird one. So they are my two next projects. I hope.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm definitely going to be on the lookout because, wow, like I said, I love this film so much.
Thank you.
Fun.
That's so cool.
It's so fun to find a movie that genuinely scares you these days. So yeah, I enjoyed it so much.
I am so happy to hear that when you say it's so fun, because I think it's really the purpose of the movie. You know, it's like a weird, twisted Halloween joke, and we wanted that movie to be fun. So I'm happy to hear that. I'm really happy to hear that.